Scariest Things Caught on Security Cameras. Part 6, Number 10, Crying Woman. Back in December of 2013, residents of Bulgaria were baffled when they noticed this strange woman crying on their street corner. She appeared completely distraught, sitting there with her head in her hands. But as soon as she heard the screech of tyres and turned her head to look at the camera, everyone got scared. Her face was grey, emaciated, and without any features, just two black holes where eyes should be. It's safe to say that this woman freaked out whoever was driving by, and it's no wonder she looks so scary, considering what happened next. As she stands up, we see that she's missing an arm, leaving nothing but a jagged hole where it should be. She then proceeds to walk into traffic and gets hit by a car. The driver swerves away from the corner as fast as possible, probably thinking he'd hit a stray dog, and we can only hope that he didn't see her face before he hit her. Number 9, Caught on Campus. This clip comes from a security camera at the University of North Florida and shows students walking across campus. All of them are minding their own business until the guy in the orange shirt runs into frame. He appears to be on fire, waving his arms around and screaming bloody murder. Students scatter as he barrels towards them, knocking over garbage cans along the way. But the craziest part of all this is that he doesn't seem to notice anything or anyone. His whole body and clothes appear to be covered in petroleum jelly, and he keeps running frantically around campus for about 3 minutes. He even ran into a wall at one point. After this footage was released to the public, the university received lots of calls identifying the man as a former student who had been acting erratically recently. Authorities finally found him and took him to a mental hospital for treatment. Gnome 8. Lost soul. Security cameras are everywhere these days, and that means that sometimes we catch more than we bargain for. Take this video, for example, which was recorded at a school in Spain. You can see a group of students running down a long hallway when a terrifying apparition appears in front of them. It looks kind of like a ghost, or an emaciated old woman with a big black nose. And she seems to come out of nowhere, emerging from behind a closed door. One of the students points at her in surprise, and we can assume that he yells something to warn his friends. They all turn and run away as fast as they can. As for the mysterious woman, she just continues walking down the hall with an unsettling slowness. There have been several explanations for this clip. Some people think that it could be a mentally ill trespasser who wandered onto the property. Others believe that it's a disgruntled teacher or staff member, and some people even claim that it's a ghost. Whatever the case may be, it's pretty clear that this woman doesn't belong in a school. Number 7, White Van. This next story is one of the creepiest and most disturbing videos ever caught on security camera. These clips were recorded at a house in South Africa and show a man arriving home in his van. But everything is not as it seems. When he parks his vehicle, we can see that his face has been completely scratched out. The man walks into his garage and goes inside, but he's being followed by a little girl who seems to materialise out of thin air. The man doesn't acknowledge her presence and enters his house, but the girl follows him inside. She's seen in several other clips wandering through the house and interacting with family members, but no one seems to notice her. Sometimes she makes regular human gestures like petting a cat or drinking a glass of water. Other times she does strange things like licking the walls or staring straight at the camera. There are even clips of her playing with children and watching television like a normal little girl. But this is impossible because she died 14 years before these clips were recorded. These clips are too bizarre to be made up, which means that there's only one explanation. This house is haunted. Number 6. Ghost bus. Buses are usually pretty safe forms of transportation, but this might be the exception to that rule. This footage was captured on a security camera in Bulgaria and shows a group of friends getting off the bus to go home. That's when they realise that it's full of ghosts. Several translucent figures are seen floating down the aisle of the bus, and none of them seem to acknowledge the living people on board. A man in a blue shirt looks like he's about to speak to the ghost, but quickly thinks better of it. Instead, he motions to his friend to get off the bus quickly, but the doors open once more, and another ghost emerges. Now, this one is more solid than the others, and it appears to recognise the people outside. It slowly moves forward and reaches out a hand, but the friends make a run for it. Number 5. Shadowy figure. Security cameras are important for keeping people safe, but sometimes they pick up things that are a little too strange for us to handle. Take this footage, for example, which was recorded at a store in Greece. It shows a man walking into the shop, and then something weird happens. There appears to be a black, shadowy figure standing in the background. It's too dark to make out any details, but it seems to move independently of the man in the bright clothes. The two figures appear to interact with each other, and when the man turns round, we can see the shadow mimic his movements. It almost looks like the man is holding his breath and waiting for something. Then he turns away again and holds his hands up in the air. Whatever he's seeing is clearly invisible to us. This video will leave you wondering, if we can't see the thing, does that mean it can't hurt us? Number 4. Creepy cabin. Who would have thought a cabin in the woods could be so terrifying? Well, this homeowner certainly didn't. When she went to check her security cameras, she had no idea what she'd be getting herself into. You can see a couple of women approaching the cabin and looking around, but that's when the creepy crawlies begin to appear. What looks like a spider drops from above, and one of the women gasps and runs off. Soon after, an enormous centipede crawls across the screen. We don't know how big it really is, but it's probably long enough to bite someone who wanders too close. Whoever lives here should probably consider moving. No. 3. Unspeakable horror. Security cameras have gotten really advanced in recent years, with many high-definition models offering night vision and motion detection. But every now and then, they manage to capture something so terrifying they wish they never had. Just ask the people who saw this video taken in Brazil. It shows a little girl walking up to a man and touching his leg. She seems to be asking for his attention, but he's too busy talking to his friends. She tries again, but this time the man grabs her and carries her into the shop. Seconds later, he emerges carrying a bloodied meat cleaver. It's obvious that whatever he did to the little girl, it wasn't good. Police later found her in a shallow grave with multiple stab wounds. They also discovered that the killer was her own grandfather. He confessed to the crime and claimed that he'd killed her because she was possessed by the devil. Number 2. Train. When you watch this video, it's hard not to get goosebumps. Taken at a train station in Bulgaria, it shows a man waiting for his train. But when it arrives, he isn't very happy. The train consists of dozens of cars and appears to stretch on forever. That's not unusual, but something else is coming from inside. The man turns around to avoid being hit, but he's still forced to walk through a cloud of vapour. That's when he sees something horrifying. The passengers. Dozens of ghostly figures are standing in the windows of the train cars, staring right at him. The man drops to his knees in terror as they continue to stare at him, and we can only imagine what those dead eyes are thinking. When the train moves away, we can see the man collapsing to the ground, unable to bear the sight of the spectral passengers. Number 1. Monster. This next clip is sure to convince you that monsters are real. It was filmed by a security camera in Bulgaria and shows a man walking down a dimly lit street. That's when he notices a strange creature standing on the sidewalk. It looks like a monkey, but is far bigger than any primate we've ever seen. It appears to have dark fur, a skeletal face, and huge claws. But the scariest part is that it stands up on two legs and seems to be looking right at the man filming it. The witness starts backing away slowly, trying to keep eye contact, and we can see the monster taking small steps towards him. This footage was apparently taken in broad daylight, which means that the monster can probably be seen with the naked eye. Hopefully this thing doesn't live anywhere near humans, or else we're doomed. Thanks for watching. Which of these scary videos would you have liked to see? Let me know your thoughts, and please remember to share this video with others for more amazing content.